Hey guys, so I just returned from Greece, and in this video, I want to talk about why you should never go on vacation if you're trying to build your own business and escape the matrix. And the reason is because it costs a lot of money. And if you're trying to escape the matrix, then you got to save money, you got to stay broke until you are free from that system, so you never have to go work for a job again. So why did we go on vacation for a week? Because my parents already booked it, and of course I already got in the fight just before that, and I said like cancel my flight, I'll just be working on my business instead, but they couldn't. And I couldn't really have them waste 800 euros on my plane ticket and accommodation, so I went with it. But I wouldn't recommend you going on vacation in a couple of years if you're trying to build your business, not because it necessarily like takes a week away from your productivity, because I think that everyone sometimes needs a break, but more because of the money. This is like almost common sense, but so many people got it wrong. I even made a mistake in the past, and I've actually seen this summer other people making a mistake who are trying to grow their business, but they want to go a month to this place or that place. And I'm like, dude, you're gonna spend like 1 or 2 or 3,000 euros instead of just working on your business and investing it there, because you have no security for the next 5 to 10 years. You have no idea what's gonna happen within your business. So unless you can go for at least like 1 or 2 years without your business generating cash flow, you should not go on vacation. Vacation is a waste of money. Also, I believe that vacation is mainly for people who are stuck in one place in a job, and not for people who are free to go wherever they want because they have an online business. Actually, in 7 weeks, I'm planning to move out and I'm going to another country just because I like to travel while working on my business. And, if you have your own business, you shouldn't need to go on holiday because your life just becomes a holiday, right? And of course, if you don't have the same business model as me, like an agency business model, but you're like stuck to your location, even though you're making a lot of money with your own business, that's cool, right? Then you can have vacations. But, like realize that if you have an online agency business, you can go wherever you want to go. And this whole idea of going on vacation for a week or two just completely dissipates because I can go wherever I want to go, whenever I want to go. So in 8 weeks, I'll actually be moving out of my parents' home and I will be going to another country just because I like to travel. And I'll be completely funding that with my own business. And I'm so proud of that because that has been my entire goal for the entire time, to be able to just travel while working on my business online. And I can go wherever I want to go. Of course, there are some more expensive places than others, so I'll be starting in Eastern Europe. And as I start increasing my income, I can also start slowly increasing the levels of places that I go to. For instance, Spain or Switzerland are way more expensive than, say, Poland, right? And the first place that I'll be going to are the Balkan countries, because some of the countries in there, including like Macedonia, Albania, Serbia, are just outside of the European Union. However, they are within the European zone. So it's only a couple hours of flying away from my home. It's right next to Greece, right next to Croatia, for example. And the reason I want to go there, of course, is because it's affordable, because it's just outside of the European Union. And if you are starting your own business, you want to keep expenses minimal. And as I move out, like this is the first time and hopefully also the last time in my life that I'll be able to move out of my parents' home. I gotta make it as affordable as possible, and I also want to have like a good life. I don't want to go to Amsterdam here, which is a very nice city, but it's honestly just super expensive. Because for the same price, I can have a way better quality of life living in one of those other countries, because I'll be able to afford a better apartment, which is bigger, which is also a little closer to the center. I can go out and eat a little bit more. I can just call a taxi, all that stuff. Meanwhile, if I wanted to go and live in Amsterdam, I would have to really save my money because it's super expensive. And also think about quality of life and how that impacts your mindset with your business, and also therefore your productivity, because your happiness, your mindset, they all increase your energy, and that increases your productivity. If I have to sacrifice the country that I live in order to be able to afford a better quality of life, so I have a better mindset and more energy to be working on my business in a better way, so I can make more money and get out of there quicker, then I'll gladly do that. Because here in Amsterdam, or say in London or in Berlin, I don't know what the most expensive places are, but Amsterdam is certainly expensive. I would only be able to afford like a studio that's small outside of the center, and I would have to really pay attention to the money that I spend. I wouldn't be able to have a great diet like I have at the moment because I eat carnivore. So eating rib eyes, like forget that shit. That would have a lot of impact on my happiness, on my sense of worth, just all of these subconscious processes that impact your mindset and with that your productivity. So by going to this other country, I'll just be able to eat out once or twice a week without breaking the bank versus here in the Netherlands, you already pay like 30 bucks for just eating out. It's way too expensive and life just becomes way too boring and unmotivating that way because, abundance, if you live in that abundance, that's gonna give you that abundant mindset. And that abundant mindset really helps you attract more abundant things than working hard. So if you're in the same shoes as I am, I would highly recommend you like be flexible, get out of your own way, and just go to another country. And you can come back in a couple of years when you make a lot of more money. But if you are still living in your parents' home and you're 20 years old and you can just afford moving out, but not in your own country, then just consider going to another country instead. It will be better for you to be independent. You'll be living in a more abundant way, and just realize that if you have an online business, agency model, for example, then you have an opportunity that 99% of people don't have, which is you are location independent. You have the freedom to go wherever you want to go, and you can just work from any place in the world on the one condition that it also fits your time zone. So in my case, I work in the United States, so I cannot go to Bali in Indonesia, which is a great place to be, I guess, because everyone talks about it, right? And we all like the things that everyone talks about because we're sheep. But because I live in the United States, I can go to Bali in Indonesia because the time zone is like minus 12. So that means that my clients wake up when I go to bed, and that doesn't make sense. So for that reason, I'll be going to the Balkan area, which is still in Europe, which is only 6 hours ahead of the United States and my partner, so I can still communicate and have a well operating business. So dependent on where you serve your clients, whether it's Australia, the UK, Europe, or the United States, Canada, decide what the cheapest places are to live in that are also safe and have a high quality of life, and then go there. If you have your online business in the United States and you also live in the United States, then I wouldn't recommend you coming to Europe because you can just go to Central and South America. It also has a lot of cheap options and you will save yourself the flight ticket. Anyway, back to the whole vacation thing. I was talking about if you have your own business and you can travel while working with the same cost as just moving out in your own country, then you never have to go on vacation because your whole life becomes a vacation. But I was also talking about if you can't afford that yet, then don't go on vacation. You have to save that money until you are able to move out or move to another country, whatever it may be. And people who spend a lot of money during the summer because they feel like they have to go on vacation because it's like ingrained in them. They are more emotional decision makers in nature, and because of that, they will not make it as far in life as the same version of themselves would if they save that money. Because you don't have any financial security for the next couple of years, and your business model, you don't know if it's going to work out. And before you know it, you are back in a job. And I'm not making this up. I'm actually seeing it happen as we speak. I'm seeing this happening to multiple people. And one of the other reasons is that you have some peer pressure from friends. They invite you and they say, like, come on, dude, like, you've already worked for 51 weeks. Why don't you just go on vacation with us for 1 week? It only costs like $600. And I've had the peer pressure multiple times. And one time I actually agreed with it and I went with it and I spent the money right and I wasted all the money. It's all gone. And the other time I just said, like, no, man, I got to work on my business. But it was still very tempting because you feel like, oh, escape and fun, and you start making up all of these excuses why you deserve to go on vacation. Meanwhile, rationally speaking, it's just a big expense that is made emotionally with the expectation that it's gonna work out well in your business. Meanwhile, you have no idea what's gonna happen, and you just gotta stack all of the odds in favor of yourself. So if you work consistently and also hard most of the time for the past 51 weeks, then of course take a break for a week, but don't spend 1,000 euros on going on holiday. And you'll be grateful for it and thanking yourself for it when you are able to spend that 1,000 euros on a course instead that has the information you need to level up your skill set to be able to make more money with your business and that way make more money for your life as well. So you can later on have amazing holidays that cost thousands of euros because you're a millionaire. So if you think ahead like 10 years from now, then that 1,000 euro that you save can make a whole difference. It certainly has been in my case where I have invested in so many courses that I couldn't have if I had spent all that money on doing fun stuff. And to go even a little bit more extreme, which is also a little bit counterintuitive, is don't spend any money on experiences because experiences fade. And it's almost like I hate saying this because I think that life is all about experiences. But the past few years, like sitting in front of my laptop, it wasn't an experience. You have to kind of sacrifice the experience of today to be able to get better experiences later on. That's how I see it. But if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, then I'll have nothing to show for it because for the past couple of years, I've just grinded in front of my computer most of the times. Yes, I have had some great experiences and the whole business stuff has been a great experience. But I know that, depriving myself of going out and meeting people, meeting girls, and having all that fun that so many people have when they are younger. I don't have that yet. I am still just 20 years old, so I'll be having that very soon. But I've been sacrificing experiences that cost money to be able to invest it in my business. And it comes in the form of not paying money to go to an event or a festival because, it costs like 100 euros or you spend like 150 bucks by going to a festival in Amsterdam. Or not going on a biking trip with my parents because I don't want to spend 45 euros. Meanwhile, they spent 1,000 euros to pay my fucking vacation. And I don't even want to spend 45 euros because I am so egocentric that I only care about my own survival and success instead of also some family connection building. Like, that's kind of fucked up, even when I think about it. But on the other hand, I just purchased a 45-liter backpack that cost me a couple hundred euros. And I am able to afford that because I have saved my money by not spending it on experiences like going to festivals or other things that fade away. Meanwhile, the things that I invest in help me get to the place that I want to be so I can live the experience of life that I want, which, it takes a sacrifice. But all in all, I don't think that you are sacrificing today for a better future because every day you are working hard and you get that fulfillment from building yourself into a better man and you are building a stronger character that you wouldn't have otherwise if you had like an easy life and nice experiences going out and having fun. Like actually working hard at 20, I think is very important because your identity is shaped in the beginning of your life that you will benefit from for your whole life. And the people who are also 20 years old like me who are saying like, come on, dude, like you have a boring life, at least have some fun because now are your younger lives. I completely get it that having that energy being 20 years old, you gotta like embrace that 100%. But I also understand that I'm working hard and I'm building my character, I'm building my discipline, my mental muscle, and that will all pay off in the end. Meanwhile, you guys who are just studying and having fun, most students are not adults yet because they don't have real accountability. Of course, the ones that do, I completely respect you guys, but so many students are just drinking and having fun and they are acting like children. Meanwhile, a couple years from now, they'll see what reality looks like. And, they'll be working from 25 till like 67, maybe even 70 years old because we get older later on. Meanwhile, me at like 30 years old, I'll be able to just do whatever the fuck I want because I decided at 20 years old that I'm first going to be working hard during the most productive high testosterone phase of my life, that I'm going to be working hard so I don't have to work the other 30 years that you guys have to do. And of course, I'll still be working when I'm 30 years old, but I'll have that with the benefit of being my own boss, having financial freedom, having time freedom, being able to work whenever I want to work, and I also have location independence, which means that I can work wherever I want.